Welcome to PC Gaming Tech Summary. I'm your host Gamer, and today we're going to thank you for 100,000 views. I'll go through a bit later just how these top videos came to be and the stories behind them. And some of the performance are a bit of a mystery why they did so well, but we'll go through that later on. But first, I'll just show you how to enrich the color if you've got an NVIDIA graphics card. We're going to look at the control panel settings, look at the high performance settings I use, as well as making that color in your games brighter. Sit right back, have a cup of coffee, and we'll get into it. Now we want to go to the NVIDIA control panel, so go to your system tray. And where it has the black and green NVIDIA logo, do a left click on your mouse. And it takes a few seconds and then it'll pop up. Okay, so let's go to adjust video color settings under video. So we're just going to enrich the color to start with. Select number 2, select NVIDIA, and then click Advanced and click Full 0 to 255 and then click Apply. Okay, now we are going to go up to under display and adjust desktop color settings. Okay. Now here we're going to change the digital vibrance. We're going to take it from 50% to 80. Okay, we're going to bring it up here to 80 and then click apply. Now, if that's all you want to do, you restart your computer and see if you like the change. And if you don't, just change it back. Now let's continue on. We're going to go up to change resolution, just right above that. And you may see this pop up and you might think, oh, okay, we'll select 4K. Well, if you go and select 4K, it only has 60 Hertz as the top frequency. That's not what we want. We've got a new LG C2. So we're going to click under PC 3840 by 2160, which is 4K. And we have an option of either 120 or 100 Hertz. We'll go with 120 and click apply. And yes, keep the settings. All right, now let's go to manage 3D settings. Okay, now image scaling, also known as NIS, NVIDIA image scaling. I'm going to keep this off because I've had troubles with this in the past, okay? And if you happen to have troubles, you might have to do a fresh install of the NVIDIA drivers. So you do that when you go to install, you make sure you click custom installation, and then it'll do its thing. It'll check things out, and then in the lower left of your screen, you'll see a box for a clean installation, and you take that. And then you have to do a clean installation, and you'll have to put in all the settings. So this is like, what I'm doing is like from a clean install, selecting all the settings. Okay, so we're going to leave that on off. Okay, ambient occlusion, we'll put that on performance. And anisotropic filtering, application controlled. Anti-aliasing, FXAA, we're going to keep that on off. Now, anti-aliasing gamma correction, we're going to have that on. And anti-aliasing mode, application controlled. And setting, application controlled. And then transparency, we're going to have that on off. And so if you want a game to limit the actual frames per second that it uses from the graphics card. To keep it going up to like 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever, you can set the background application max frame rate. Now, since I've got 120 hertz a monitor, I've set that to just 146, so 121 probably be fine, or 120. And then CUDA GPUs, have that on all. DSR off and smoothness off. A low latency mode, I have that set to, oh, look at that. Yep, I've got that set to ultra. Maximum frame rate 145, because I have a 120 hertz monitor. If I'm doing some benchmarking or whatever, it could affect averages if I have it set too low. All right, now monitor technologies, G-Sync compatible. So this LG C2 monitor that I just got has both G-Sync and it's got FreeSync Premium as well. All right, and the VRR, variable refresh rate. So it's so far so good. I enjoy it. It's a really good OLED monitor. All right, multi-frame sampled AA. We're going to have that on off. We're going to have OpenGL GDI compatibility to auto. OpenGL rendering GPU to 3060. I'm going to leave the power management mode on normal, okay? And my reasons are a bit complicated, so I won't go into them. All right, preferred refresh rate, highest available. Okay, shader cache size. So if you've got very limited storage space, you may want to limit that. You can have unlimited, 100 gigabyte or whatever. I just set mine to 10, so I've got extra space that it can use if it wants to, and I think 10 gigabytes should be enough. All right, texture filtering, anisotropic sample optimization on. Texture filtering negative LOD bias, I'm going to put that on allow. Texture filtering quality, I'm going to have that on high performance. Texture filtering trilinear optimization, I'm going to have that on. Threaded optimization to auto. Triple buffering off. Vertical sync. Now I want it to use the 3D application settings. So if I go and change it in a game to VSync on or off, I want it to do that. That's why I have that. Virtual reality pre-rendered frames, just set that to 1. Just setting that to 1. And virtual reality, a variable rate super sampling off, and Vulkan on auto. Okay, so I'll put a link in the description below. This has best performance settings from BitRebels. And I just wanted to touch on the release now in May 2023 of the 4060 Ti 8GB. For 4K gamers, we're talking MIA, DOA, missing in action, dead on arrival. That's right. It is not good. And I've been seeing this coming. I saw that in the 4070 series, a real lack of respect for 4K gamers, lack of scaling, and the 4060 is even worse. In fact, there are some results, gaming results, where the 3060 Ti is better than the 4060 Ti. What is this? This is not right. This is so wrong. So, the 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte comes out in July. Is it going to be much better? I'm not confident. I am not confident at this stage, but I'm interested to see what it is for 4K gaming. So if you do 4K gaming, I would definitely wait for the results, because the 3060 12 gigabyte is actually better in some ways. Yeah. The amount of VRAM over the 8 gigabyte, the amount of bandwidth. So, anyways, we all want smooth gaming performance. That's what we aim for. That's what we want. That's what we pay for. Now I saw this coming. I saw this coming because of the lack of 4K scaling with the 4070 series. Oh, and so what did I do? I've been debating whether or not to upgrade my graphics card from the 3060 12 gigabytes to something better, but really. So I upgraded my monitor. 120 hertz LG C2 OLED. Oh, and I'm happy with that choice. I'm happy with that decision so far. And so in my future videos here, we're going to concentrate on the 3060 12 gigabyte and 120 hertz, see what kind of settings we need for that. If you'd like to see settings for 60 frames per second at 60 hertz, well, I've been doing that all along, but hey, just put it in the comments and I'll put some work into that as well. So, should you buy the 4060 or 4060 Ti, 8 gigabyte or 16 gigabyte versions? Oh, it's a disappointment, a big disappointment. $400 US for the 8 gigabyte, $500 US for the 16 gigabyte. Not good, not good. So, if anybody has the AMD GPU, the 7900 XT, please put in the comments section what you think of it. How does it perform? Do you like it? Because now I'm interested in looking at AMD. And NVIDIA has just blown it. They've blown it. Okay, made poor decisions. All right, they're so used to this mining craze and all this money coming in, they've lost touch with the gaming base and the future of gaming. Well, we are at 100,000 views of my videos. With the 101,817 views, I'm going to have a look at the top 9 videos. Now, 5 of these videos fit into this. All have something to do with the MSI AIO Core Liquid Mag 240R, 360R, and in some cases on pre-built MSI systems, the 120R. There are allegedly 2 manufacturing defects. One is with the coolant, and the other is with the radiator. So it appears that the radiator was not cleaned out after it was manufactured. So there may be some welding and other bits of metal and stuff, so it's not cleaned out, bits of metal, corrosion products. It's not like polished on the inside, leaving bits of metal to flake off and things like that. So if you don't clean out the radiator with appropriate chemicals at the beginning, then you'll probably always have problems with that radiator no matter what you do. Okay. Now the coolant. This is the coolant that I took out. All right. And okay, now I just shake it up. There's really no sediment, meaning there's no particles that have settled to the ground. There's no precipitate. It pretty much looks like the same when I took it out. So it's been about a year ago that I took this out of my AIO. And I replaced it with a solution of this. Let's see if we can get this on camera. Okay, so that's the XT1 Nuke UV Sky Clear Blue Concentrate. Okay, and that's from a company called Mayhems, M-A-Y-H-E-M-S. And so that's got corrosion inhibitors. Okay, it's got biocide, which kills bacteria. I just have a little bit left here, and it's just clear as it was a year ago. Don't see any cloudiness at all. So that's what it should look like, just a clear solution in your AIO. It shouldn't be all cloudy like that. Now, I only used that AIO for 1 month, and then I heard about problems occurring. So I thought, oh, well, I can just continue on as is, and this thing's gonna fail. So I tried replacing it, okay, replacing the solution. And by the way, video number 9, number 8, number 6, number 5, and number 3, so 5 of those videos I'm going to talk about have to do with this. So I replaced the solution, and then just a few weeks later, I started to hear this clicking noise. And that's video number 6 here, okay? And that's called a nightmare clicking noise in an MSI 240. Very short video, but you hear the clicking, so it sounds like metallic bits from the radiator that have come off and are inside the pump, which the pump is sitting inside the radiator. So, as far as I know, these AIOs were contract manufactured by a company in China called Apaltek. Apaltek. A-P-A-L-T-E-K. All right, so as far as I know, allegedly the rumor is that this same company made AIOs for Enermax, which failed similar way. So if you don't have the corrosion inhibitors, if you don't have the biocides to keep things in balance, you get corrosion products forming. You've got copper, aluminum, aluminium, and you've got a solution that's growing gunk. They feed off each other. It's a cycle, corrosion and bacterial growth. They just feed each other. It gets worse and worse and worse, to the point where you get all this gunk clogging your system. And I've heard, rumors I've heard are that some people have pressure builds up and then springs a leak and ruins other components. I mean, this is a very serious issue. As far as I know, a year later, units that have the pump in the radiator are still being sold, okay? If you go to the world's biggest retailer, online retailer, and look at the reviews, look at the 1-star, the 2-star, and the 3-star reviews, and see if they're failing in a similar way as well. Well, I actually did a video on that, but it's not up there at the moment. It's not in the top 9. So, I tried to contact many of the big players with no response. They didn't care, I guess. This has affected thousands and thousands of people. I mean, thousands of these units have failed. And it's just ridiculous. So what do you do if you have this problem, this similar problem? Well, you go to the MSI website, you create a ticket, and you demand a replacement that does not have the pump in the radiator. Simple as that. Or you try and trade it in. At your retailer, if you bought it locally at your retailer. You can go in person, tell them what happens. Thousands of these are failing, and you want a Corsair, for instance. Well, that's what I did. I had a Corsair from 2017 that's still running today. Never any issues with it. And so I looked at Corsair, and I went with a fantastic H100i Elite. It's a 240 millimeter AIO, okay? And this has a huge number of fins, in the cooling block, the cold plate. These micro fins, 128 per inch. Okay, so the number 9 video is a video I did on the Corsair AIO that I got. It's been fantastic, phenomenal. And I did a video, phenomenal low temps on an overclock Intel 12700K. Gaming CPU temps. All right. And that's because I switched from MSI to Corsair, and yeah, just MSI is not an option. Okay, so I personally traded my 240R into my retailer. So luckily, I bought it locally from a company that has a branch here. I went in, returned that, traded it in, spent a little bit of extra money to get that Corsair, and I never have regretted it. Okay, it's fantastic. Now, so that's the number 9 video, is just going over some of these temps on the 12700K. This number 8 is part 1 of where I go through why I'm changing the coolant in the 240R. Okay, number 6 is that short video on the metallic sound when the bits broke off in the pump. So that was it. When that happened, that was, yeah. Number 5 is just an urgent update. So after that happened, I went and did that video, okay? Just updating on what was happening. So that's had over 4,000 hits. So actually after I did that video, I thought, oh, I should put the sound on a video, and then I did that. Okay, and then the number 3 is part 2 of changing the coolant. So I physically do it. I couldn't find videos on YouTube on changing the coolant in the 240R. I couldn't find one. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to do it, and I'm just going to film it all and see what we get. And so that's what I did. So it's a bit crude. It's a bit of a noob changing the coolant. Hey, I'm admitting it. But that video has done 7,605 views. And for me, for a little YouTuber like me, great, okay? And I posted videos like this, urgent update. I always warn people about it, recommending just go ahead and just try and get a replacement. If you get a replacement with the pump and the radiator again, if you get another one like that, it's probably going to fail over time anyways. Then your warranty is up, and then you're out of luck. But even if that happens, create a ticket on the MSI website, okay? And try and get a compensation for this disaster. All right, let's move on. We've got the 7th video is 3,475. Okay, and this is just a how-to video on how to move games from one drive to another. So either from a hard drive to an SSD, or SSD to a hard drive, another hard drive, another drive, a different drive. And this one concentrated on COG and Ubisoft, Battle.net, okay? And so that has become popular. There must not have been many videos on that particular movement. I did do another video on like Steam and Epic and that as well. But it didn't do get as many views. But anyways, okay, next. The fourth most popular video is moving a Poco phone or connecting a Poco phone to a computer and like moving the files. It's just ridiculous. This probably will work as well with the Xiaomi phones as well. Basically, Poco designed the phone and then Xiaomi made it. That has 4,897 views. Also, in that video, I show how to cast an Android phone into Windows 10. Okay. And I've done it a few times, so it does work. All right. So what we've got next, we've got the number 2 video. So I'll bring that up. Now, the second most popular video is how to assemble a Wi-Fi antenna on the Asus Z690 Prime motherboard, as well as speed tests. I did some speed tests. And that's this one here. 8,129. It's still getting hits. I didn't expect it to do that well. I was just assembling and looking at assembling it. I said, well, this doesn't look very straightforward. So, yeah, so I did it, and I'm glad I'm helping some people. That's what it's all about. Helping people, entertaining, having fun. Okay, all right. Now, for the number 1 video. This video had huge hits, and I have no idea because I was just making a series of videos with similar subject matter, and this particular one just went through the roof. And so we'll have a look at it now, and I'll talk about what the subject matter is. Well, it's this video here, and the thumbnail says there is hope for 7th Gen Intel, 7700K owners, and Windows 11. Check out Microsoft Power Toys. So yeah, this was a while ago, over a year ago, and when Windows 11 was being developed and all the minimum specs were going through, the 7th Gen Intel part did not get approved to be used on Windows 11. So you were stuck with Windows 10. Did this video, and it took off. The number 1 most popular video is Windows 11 7th Gen Intel CPU 7700K. Yes, it's got 8,903 views so far. Yeah, so there you have it. Thanks again for your help and support. Perhaps I should do a few more how-to videos, and we can just see how things go. I'll continue to do a variety of videos, and feel free to comment in the section if you're interested in anything in regards to the 12700K or the 3060 12 gigabyte or anything else. And thanks for joining us here on PC Gaming Tech Summary. And you might as well subscribe. No harm done. You get notified when my videos are ready. And don't forget, you'll be seeing me in the next video.